In this episode, we are going to learn about how to respond to the click events of a button. You can respond to the click events of a button in two ways. First method is specify an onClick method on the XML file. Second method is defining an onClick listener. So here I am going to show you the two methods of how to respond to the click events of a button. So first we have to create a button. So here I am going to create a new button. Width is wrap content, height also wrap content. Now specify a text for the button. Refer it from the string resource. Click me. Now we have to define this one in the string resource file. Click me. The value is click me. Okay, now we have a button at the activity main.xml file. So now I am going to specify another attribute on this XML file and throw it onClick and specify a method name. I name the method as getMe. So now this is the method that will invoke whenever user click this button. So you have to define this method on the Java file corresponding to this file. So this is the activity main.xml file. So the Java class file corresponding to this layout is the main activity. So I open up the main activity. So now I have to define that method in this class. So the onClick method is always need to be public. You have to specify the method in public, and the return type is always void, and specify the method name. Here the method name is getMe. And another important thing, you have to specify an argument of view class here. This is because whenever user interact with the button or any view component, the Android system will create an object of that particular view component. Suppose here it is button, so whenever user click the button, the Android system will create an object of button and pass it into the corresponding method that listen to the click events. So here the click event the listener is getMe method, so you have to specify an object of view class here to get the object. That's why I define this argument here. So I display a message using toast get base context you click on first button. Now specify the duration, make it this long. Now make it visible. Okay, so here this is the first method of listening to the click events of a button. You have to specify an onClick method on the XML file, and you have to define that particular method on the Java class file. And the method must be public method, and the return type must be void, and you have to specify an argument of view class here. Okay, so now I am going to show you the second method. Suppose I am going to add another button here. Here the text is click me to, so you have to specify it on the string resource file. And the text is click me to. Okay, now look at the design. Now we have another button here. Now here I am going to make an on-click listener for this button. So if you want to listen, if you want to use an on-click method, on-click listener for the button, you have to define an ID for that button. So here I am going to add an attribute that define an ID for this button. So Android ID, use the plus ID and specify an ID. Here the ID is BN. So now go to the class file corresponding to this layout. So for handling the click events of that particular button, you have to create an object of that button. First you have to create an instance of that button. So create an object of button class BN. Now after the set content view, you have to initialize the button. So BN equal to, use this method, find view by ID r.id dot, that button ID is BN. So this is an object, so you have to cast it into corresponding class. So here the class name is button. Okay, so now we have the object of the button. Now we have to create an on-click listener for the button. So use this method bn dot set on-click listener. It is an anonymous inner type. Okay, so whenever user click the button, we got the click events on this method, on click method. Okay, here also I specify a message using toast. You click on second button. Okay, now we can test the application. So I run the application. Okay, now we have the application on the emulator. So now I am going to click the first button. So you click on the first button. Now I am going to click the second button. You click on second button. This is the two methods of how to listen to the click events of a button. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.